Time travel. You know, it's the ultimate do-over, the ultimate adventure. But what if it's not just technically tricky, but logically impossible? What if just trying to go to the past breaks one of the oldest, most basic rules of the entire universe? Let's unravel this thing, the paradox that can make time travel a complete cosmic impossibility.
I mean, come on, of course you have. Who wouldn't want to see dinosaurs with their own eyes, or meet some historical hero, or maybe just go back and give your younger self a little bit of advice? It's a dream we all have, but hold that thought.
See, it turns out the universe has a really strict rulebook, and your dream of witnessing history firsthand, it might just violate one of its most important laws, a law that's literally written into the fabric of reality itself.
To really get why, we have to start with this foundational principle, the law of conservation of matter. It sounds fancy, but it's actually elegantly simple, though its implications are totally mind-bending.
Okay, so here's the deal. Every single atom that exists today has existed since the very beginning of time. They don't just pop into existence, and they don't just vanish into nothing. They just get shuffled around, kind of like a cosmic deck of cards that's been in play for billions and billions of years. And this is where it gets personal. The very carbon, oxygen, and hydrogen atoms that make up you, listening to this right now, they're ancient. They are literally stardust, recycled over and over and over again through the eons.
So think about what that means. In the year 1888, for example, all of your atoms were already here.
They weren't assembled into you, of course. They were scattered all over the globe, somewhere in the ocean, somewhere in the air, maybe somewhere part of a tree. A few million years before that, some of those exact same atoms might have been part of a T-Rex. The point is, they were already accounted for. And that simple fact creates a massive problem for any would-be time traveler. This is where we run smack into the duplication paradox, a true cosmic contradiction. And here it is, the killer question. If all of your atoms were already busy being other things in the past, and then you show up, where did the atoms that make up this new version of you come from? Suddenly, the universe has a serious accounting error on its hands.
This whole thing leaves you with two completely impossible scenarios. On one side, you've got duplication. A whole new set of atoms making up your body just materializes out of thin air, completely breaking the conservation law. Or you've got disappearance, where your atoms are literally ripped from their places in the present to build you in the past, leaving a person-shaped hole in the 21st century. It's a classic catch-22. To exist in the past, you either have to illegally create matter or illegally delete it from the present. No matter how you slice it, the fundamental rules of physics just get shattered. And, you know, this isn't just a fun little thought experiment. Physicists have actual theories about this. One is the Novikov self-consistency principle. It basically suggests that the universe has a built-in safety feature to stop paradoxes from ever happening. It just won't allow events that create these kinds of logical messes. The probability is, well, 0. Okay, so, case closed, right? Time travel to the past is impossible. Well, physics is rarely that simple. Let's throw a little wrinkle into this supposedly unbreakable law. And that wrinkle comes from the most famous equation in history, Einstein's E equals mc squared. It tells us something profound, that matter and energy are really just two sides of the same coin. They can be converted into one another. So that hard and fast rule that atoms can't be created or destroyed, it isn't entirely true. It works for everyday stuff like chemical reactions. But in the super extreme conditions of nuclear physics, you know, inside a star or a nuclear reactor, atoms absolutely can be transformed, and matter can be turned into pure energy. But hey, before you start packing your bags for the Jurassic period, this exception doesn't really give us a loophole. I mean, converting an entire human being into energy, shooting that energy back in time, and then perfectly reassembling it into a living person, well, that's a problem our current understanding of physics can't even begin to touch. But let's say we could. Let's say we solve the physics problem. An even deeper, weirder puzzle is still waiting for us. This is where we go beyond physics and into the philosophy of it all. Because you are so much more than just a collection of atoms. So let's pretend we could somehow solve the atom problem. We gather up the exact right number and type of atoms in the past and build a perfect atom-for-atom copy of you. Is that copy really you? Does just the arrangement of particles define who you are? Or is it just a perfect biological machine? A replica that looks like you, talks like you, acts like you?
but is missing that spark, that continuity of experience we call consciousness. What is it that makes you, you? Is it your atoms, or is it the unique, unbroken story that those atoms have lived? And what if you could somehow transport your actual consciousness? Would it then exist in two places at once? Would your mind be split between your original body in the present and your new body in the past? The physics paradox is tough, for sure, but this paradox of identity is a total mind bender. So, when we pull all these threads together, the physics, the paradoxes, the philosophy, we arrive at a pretty stark conclusion. Look, while it might not be some ironclad physical law you can test in a lab, the atom conservation paradox is this beautiful and powerful logical argument. It just highlights how profoundly backward time travel would mess with the very fabric of our reality. And all of this leaves us with one final, fascinating question to chew on. If the laws of physics and logic seem to be conspiring to stop us from changing the past, maybe it's because the past isn't a place we can actually visit. Maybe time isn't a river we can just sail up and down. Maybe it's something else entirely, something we're only just beginning to understand.